Today I want to talk about a very simple concept. It's a very simple concept that will help you as an instructor in any course, no matter what course it is. It will help you become a better instructor. It's something that we do without much thinking about it, but if we think about it, we can do it much better. And this is quite simply to get organized. Organization is a key note that lets the students know that you know what you're talking about. Organization lets the students understand that they're actually getting something for their money. Think about how you would feel if you were to walk into some place to buy a car, and that salesperson doesn't know where the paperwork is. They have to run away and find a pen or something. Just the simple organization. And this concept sounds very simple, but when you look at it in behavioral terms, we can really identify what to be organized looks like. Think about somebody that you think is a very organized person. What does their life look like? What does their work area look like? Can you walk in and say, you are organized? Can somebody walk into your space and say you're organized or you're disorganized? And this isn't an organization that just works for you. When we look at behaviorizing organization, it's an organization that would work for most people. So think about in your classroom. Are you organized? Start out with physically organized. Are you physically prepared for classroom? Do you have all of the copies that you need to have? Are they already copied? Do you have them set out in stacks? Are they in order? Have you gone through them to check and make sure that they're appropriate? That the copy machine copied them clearly? Do you have some extra copies just in case? Your lecture notes. Are your lecture notes with you? Have you organized the lecture notes so that you can talk in a nice smooth progression? Have you organized your time for how long it takes to hand things out? How long it takes to talk about a certain subject? Have you left room in your organization for the question and answer sessions? If one of your colleagues was to come in and watch you teach, could they honestly say you're organized? And no matter really how organized we are, we could probably do just a little bit more. Just that little bit more organization. Here this evening time, as I'm recording this, I'm talking from what I call euphemistically my library. It's my home office. Right behind the camera, there's bookshelves that contain fiction, and they're all alphabetized by author. Right behind me is my nonfiction shelf, and they're organized by subject. I have a section right over here for biographies, a section right back behind me for business books. There's some educational book sections. There's psychology book sections, sociology book sections. I have my library organized by subjects. When you're looking at your lecture, are you delivering an organized lecture? Is there logical point A, point B, point C steps? Can the students see that there are these logical steps? And do you take the time to point out the relationship between the steps? Are you organized enough in your lecture that you could at the very beginning write down on the board, this is what we're going to talk about today? And just do a whole outline right there on the whiteboard. Is that an organizational aspect? And we also look at organization is how have you created this lecture? How have you created your course? A big part of your job as an instructor is to synthesize all of the information that you find relevant to the course, to take in from all the different sources, the textbook, outside readings, internet sources, magazine articles, your past knowledge, your past experience, work experience, other people's ideas, to synthesize all of this information and then to create a systematic way of presenting this information, to organize the information in such a way that the students can see the organization, that the students can recognize that one part leads to another part and leads to another part, to see this aspects of organization. This little bitty tool, I'm going to just talk for this couple minutes on this, is probably the single most powerful tool that you have of showing the students you know what you're talking about. The single most powerful tool that you have to let the students feel that they're actually getting quality for their money. The single tool that you have that allows the students to follow along with your lecture. Now, typically when we're creating our lectures, we just kind of naturally put an organization in there. What I'm talking about here in this little video is to take time and actually think about the organization that you're doing, to think about the connections between part A and part B and part C, to be able to point out these connections. So really, organization has at least 3 different levels. Simply, the physically organized. Do you have all your stuff for class? Do you show up on time? Does the class begin on time? Does the class end on time? The structure of your lecture. That would be another level of organization. And then how you've put this lecture together so that all of the pieces connect. And the students can see all the pieces connect. And if necessary, you can actually point out how your lecture is organized and how these pieces do connect. Simple organization. This is Bruce Porter. Thank you.